All right, we definitely had to restart that. What's going on, everybody? How are we doing? UMass back to back championships. Congratulations. Not yeah, back to back conference championships, man. Congratulations on that. We're going to talk about the accomplishments this season, man. 7 Rhode Island players, all conference selection up at UMass Dartmouth.
Actively trying to change and evaluate what you're doing in a process, or you're just saying, hey, this is the way we've always done it, but you're not getting better, well, then you're going to go backwards. And that's just my understanding. That's what I've learned. you know but I mean, again, I don't consider myself an expert. All I know is I work very hard. What I've done has worked, and what I've watched and evaluated, I've watched kids follow a pattern and get offered. I mean, you look at the Denson kid. He went to a ton of camps. I know for sure, of 3 schools specifically that walked into that high school. I know 3 of the coaches that did, and those offers were very genuine. They were committable offers, and I know that those are real for sure.
I mean, who out there is doing a better job right now recruiting than UMass Dartmouth, Coach McCormick?
What you're doing in a process, or you're just saying, hey, this is the way we've always done it, but you're not getting better, well, then you're going to go backwards. And that's just my understanding. That's what I've learned. But I mean, again, I don't consider myself an expert. All I know is I work very hard. What I've done has worked, and what I've watched and evaluated, I've watched kids follow a pattern and get offered. I mean, you look at the Denson kid. He went to a ton of camps. I know for sure, of 3 schools specifically that walked into that high school. I know 3 of the coaches that did, and those offers were very genuine. They were committable offers, and I know that those are real for sure. The other offers, I don't know who came in and offered them. I don't know who from that staff did, how that process went for those other schools, but I definitely know that from his going to camps, from him doing, the more he did, the more he got in front of people, because you're actively trying to change and evaluate what you're doing in a process, or you're just saying, hey, this is the way we've always done it, but you're not getting better, well, then you're going to go backwards.
Well, we have Rhode Island football players breaking records over at UMass Dartmouth. And we all know who is one of the hottest recruiters in Rhode Island.
Guy, I live in Rhode Island, and I'm always promoting Rhode Island kids. Even though obviously I work for UMass and I recruit a lot of kids, I'm always pushing names out there. So, kids I think are much higher level kids potentially. But the thing these people have to understand is that, taking a trip, for example, just to Penn State camp is great. But my question is, name the last 20 years of a kid that's been scholarship at Penn State from Rhode Island. Not many. I'm not saying that can't be, but you got to also do camps. Like I tell every kid, you should be doing Rhodey camp. It's a state institution, flagship institution for the state of Rhode Island. And I got no stake in the game for Rhodey. I'm just saying it just makes common sense, because when I did Rhodey camp, one of the 3 nights I was there, I was only there 2 or 3, but I got all the lists from all 3 nights from friends of that staff. Is that I've worked that camp with Coach Fleming and that staff for God since they got there 9 years ago now. Was call me the Rhode Island guy because I live in Rhode Island and I'm always promoting Rhode Island kids. Even though obviously
Shout out to Ryan, doing what he does in Rhode Island high school football. The last couple of seasons, I know this year he recruited like 50 kids from Rhode Island. So what do you got? Now we have UMass Dartmouth. Big game, a bowl game. Check it out, November 18, 2023, 12 p.m., Golden Bear Stadium, Springfield, Massachusetts. UMass Dartmouth, now they win the conference, and they also have a chance to win a bowl game, back-to-back champions, man. We're going to talk about it today. out of the 13 that got selected to the first team offense and defense and the second team, 7 of them are Rhode Island high school football players. 7 of them are Rhode Island high school football players. Before we go on, big ups. Always thanks to Rally Point. The only way to stand is together, man. Shout out to Rally Point, Coach Pennington, and I wish him all the luck in the Super Bowl this week. Can We Keep It Real Podcast Network. Talking about UMass Dartmouth today, the success that they are having. But the use of any copyrighted materials is used under the guidelines of fair use in Title 17 and 107 of the United States Code. Just a few things, we learn by doing, man. And I guess these t-shirts are going to be available very, very soon, man. The Lima Bean. And the views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speaker and do not reflect the views and positions of anyone we're talking about, anyone associated with the podcast, and so on. Oh, yeah, we back. We here to talk about it. UMass Dartmouth, man. 7 Rhode Island high school players make it to all conference. You can't do much better than that. Now they have a bowl game. Shout out to the whole UMass Dartmouth squad. But my man Dante up there, since he touched the field, he's had back-to-back seasons that was remarkable. And you can add his name to one of the 7, one of the 13, but definitely one of the 7 Rhode Island high school football players, man. We are not playing games, man. Rhode Island has athletes, that's for sure. But the MASCAC announced its year-end award in football, and we had 13 players in all at UMass Dartmouth. 7 out of Rhode Island. I mean, you might as well say UMass Dartmouth is definitely a Rhode Island program. It's definitely a Rhode Island program, man. Shout out. Shout out to UMass Dartmouth. Shout out to, Coach Sylvester. Shout out to Coach McCormick. The whole staff over there at UMass Dartmouth, man. Trying to get the screen right. Maybe we'll go with this one. Shout out to the whole entire staff, man. It's crazy, man. 7 made it to the all-conference first team, while 6 made the second team honors. Senior quarterback Dante was named Offensive Player of the Year. Shout out to Dante, Offensive Player of the Year. My man over there crushing school records. And some coaches, you never know. Crushing these school records, named Offensive Player of the Year for the 2nd straight season in the conference. Got them back-to-back rings. And big shout out to Noah Barra. Rookie defensive lineman was selected Defensive Rookie of the Year. UMass Dartmouth is definitely a school. If you put the work in and you're a freshman, you will get on that field. You definitely will get on that field. Oh my God, more crazy recruiting coming up. And don't forget, I just read, and I'm going to share the link, the Massachusetts has a new low-income Founders Scholarship Award that'll cover your food, your housing. So take advantage of that low income, a new scholarship. Schools are definitely gonna be on that. I know UMass Dartmouth is definitely gonna be, being checking up on that. But this is the second year in a row Offensive Player of the Year for Dante. Good for him. Named to the All-Conference first team. In addition to Dante was junior wide receiver Angel Sanchez. Shout out to Angel Sanchez. And a lot of people said what? Oh, Angel Sanchez could have done much better. He could have done better for himself. Look at my guy now. Back-to-back rings. Playing at a high level of football. And they wasn't not the only Rhode Islanders. How about shout out Burrillville Broncos, Kobe Stockwell doing his thing as well. And you can't say enough about your man from New London, Tyler Gimmer, giving it up. You know what I'm saying? Shout out New London. And another Rhode Island Jalen Kopecki, that was actually a transfer from Bridgewater. Not understanding why Bridgewater didn't stick it out with him or figure it out, or why he even wanted to lead Bridgewater. But shout out to Gimmer. Look at that. Now Gimmer has a back-to-back UMass Dartmouth championship ring, and now they're going into a bowl game. Dante started all 10 games for UMass, going 143 of 251 with 7 interceptions, and he thrown for a MassCAC best 2,233 yards and 21 touchdowns. I mean, the kid is just playing absolute great football. Doing his thing, playing very, very good football. I mean, not only Dante can throw the football, he can also run. He also ran for 253 yards and 37 carries with 2 touchdowns, marking his second first-team honor back in 2022, while also getting a second-team offense in 2021 in his career. And big shout out to Angel Sanchez. A lot of people said what he could have been better. I said Angel is the king up there at UMass right now, getting a first-team honor after leading the team in reception yards, touchdowns, in over 10 games played with 40 catches. He posted at 811 yards for an average of 20.3 yards per catch. My man Angel Sanchez found the end zone 9 times and averaging 81.1 yards per game. Stockwell and Gimmer has been part of the Corsairs offensive line that leads the conference in overall rushing, averaging 219.1 yards per game, with a MassCAC best 28 touchdowns with 2,191 yards rushing. Ouch, putting it on ya. Rounding out. Oh, we can't forget about Stockwell, man, who was a second team offensive selection last year as well. So Burrillville, another Burrillville player getting to it. Burrillville looked pretty dangerous this year in the playoffs. So rounding out the offensive honors on the first team was Kopecki, who hauled in 20 catches, who ranked third on the team. 236 yards, averaging 11.8 yards per catch. What can you say about this team? First team defensive honors went to Best, also a captain who leads UMass defense with 74 tackles as a starter through 10 games. Don't do it like that. 38 of his tackles have been solo, while 3 had come from a loss of 5 yards. He recorded 2 picks on the season and with 3 passes breaking up. Second team defensive honors was senior defensive back Logan Chappelle, senior inside linebacker Jackson Wellman, junior outside lineman Mike Henriksen, and junior linebacker Sam Alicia. Shout out to Bishop, Hendrick, and Alicia. Always a dominant player. Did his thing for sure. On 26 of his takedowns have been solo, while 3 had come with a loss of 15 yards and also posted a sack for a loss of 12 yards, 2 interceptions, and that's how Chappell got his 3rd straight second team honors after bringing in 46. That's right, I said it, 46. And get out there and support UMass Dartmouth at Western New England, Saturday, November 18th, 2023 at 12 p.m. Golden Bear Stadium, Springfield, Massachusetts. It's going to be one not to be forgotten. Got the conference. Now we got to go and get the bowl. Sam Alicia doing very, very good. It comes from Bishop, Hendrick King. Ended up getting a second team selection last season, a starter in all 10 games this year, 55 total tackles. That's how we're getting it done. 23 solo, a force on the line, and he leads the team with 13 tackles for a loss of 60 yards. And we can't forget our man, Burrillville Bronco, Brandon DeCharo, named to the second team offense. A 5th-year offensive lineman who was a first-team selection last season. On the O-line, what can you say about this man? The O-line have allowed the Corsairs to post the second-best passing unit in the conference. That's right, second best with 286.6 yards per game, along with the top rushing unit at 219.1 yards per game. That's right. That's what I said. It's crazy. Before we talk about Dante a little bit, big shout out to Coach Josh Silvesterman. First year coach under the direction, doing his thing. Wins the conference, gets a bowl game. We'll be back. And if you think about the money that some of these coaches be spending, to go to camps is crazy in itself.
Well, people don't understand, for example, last year, I spent out of my pocket $17,000 to go to camps.
Wow.
Because you want to know why? If you don't win. That's what I figured out. I watched other teams do this deal that were winning at a national level and said, you got to throw out a massive net. Is marketing 101, sales 101. You have to throw out a massive net. You have to filter all the variables and yield the best kids in the net. The bigger the net, the more you filter it, the more you evaluate, the more you see the kids build relationships, the better your incoming class will be. And I've proven that for the last 4 years, specifically, year after year after year. And so why are kids not going to camps? I don't know. I don't think it's one reason. I think it's people don't realize how much this has changed, one, or people don't want to believe it's changed. I don't know what the ideology issues are, and get reimbursed because it's not for our university. What people don't understand, for example, last year I spent out of my pocket $17,000 to go to camps.
Whoa! Wow!
Because you want to know why? If you don't win.
Of money.
That's what I figured out.
17.
I watch other
17 grand to go to camps. You know what? If you don't do that, you're not going to get players. You're not going to get 13 players overall. 7 players alone. And one of the best quarterbacks that we have seen in a long time come out of Rhode Island High School. But congratulations to Dante, man. A record-breaking season for sure. Breaking 4 major marks as the starter in all 10 games. A captain completed 143 of 251 passes with a 57%. That's amazing. Throwing 2,233 yards, 21 touchdowns with just 7 interceptions. The second straight first team honors for Dante Avilas Santos, who was a second team offense selection in 2021. Not only he has a great arm, he's strong. Ryan said he's built like a Greek god. Shout out to Coach McCormick. I said, what do you got to say about his structure and what he's done? He said he's like built like a Greek god. The second straight first team honors for Dante, who was a second team offensive selection in 2021. In addition to his great arm, Dante ranks third on Corsair squad in rushing, carrying the ball 34 times for 253 yards, 25.3 yards per game, and he got in the end zone twice this season. A Golden Helmet Weekly Award winner after the first game of the year at Nichols. Dante thrown for 200 yards or more 7 times this season. My goodness, 7 times. A season high of 319 yards in a 26-23 overtime win at Westfield State. And he also ran for at least 20 yards 5 times in 2023, including a season high 66-yard effort on 6 carries at WestCon. Dante became Corsair's all-time career leader in both passing yards and passing touchdowns in the season opener. Thrown for 4 touchdowns, he surpassed Corey Burham's, while his 282 passing yards against Bison moved him past Stephen Gachuk, class of 21, for the all-time record. Burham recorded 53 touchdowns in his career, while Dante now having 74 to his credit. Gachuk had the previous record of 5,382 yards. And Dante now has 7,615 yards and still a whole nother season to go. Dante also broke another record for passing completions at WestCon, eclipsing Burham's mark of 432, and even passing the attempt mark of 811 held by Burham in a win at WestCon, man. Dante just breaking records all over the joint, but salute to Dante, man. Salute to the 7 Rhode Island High School, former Rhode Island High School players, man. Salute to the 13. Let's go get that bowl game, man. Salute to Coach McCormick, man. Shout out to my guy Najee Barrows, man. We be back.
Wins, not everybody. The older coaches, they want to cry. They want to go to these RIIL meetings, and they want to cry. We're not competitive. We can't do this. I can't be in. What are we doing here?
Oh, he wilding right now.
Stay out here. Rhode Island, stand up, man. I'm trying to put on for my city.
Football in Rhode Island, bro.
I'm trying to put on for my city, man.
Be honest with you, I'm pissed off.
D1, but I don't want to be called D2.
Getting things correct.
Listen, no one's going to give you more coverage. No one's going to be at more games. No one's going to be more informed. I'm not just some guy sitting in his basement spouting off about who's winning games and who's doing what. We're real. The rebellion is real. Providence Journal coverage is going to be real this year. It's almost here. 3 days away.
He said, we're going to be real this year.
I love what Mikey does.
Sometimes I'm like, yo, you over the edge, TMZ with it. But
the boy gonna do you something nasty.
I hate to say it, more times than not, he get the results he wants.
Right.
And
And
We don't do no talking, we know what they do for the views. If I took the loss, no, I got it all back. They just wanna talk, so we gonna talk facts. Got it out the mud, got it out the mud. Really on the blood, really on the blood. Yeah, they know what's up, yeah, they know what's up.
That's the bad guy. Bad guy. Bad guy. That's the bad